Hello, hobby friends, and welcome to another exciting episode of Hobby Talk. My name is David Baez, and today we have a special treat for you. Today is our inaugural episode of what I'd like to call the Hobby Wives Club. That's right. Today we are going to speak with three wives and, of course, friends that are going to share with us some fun stories about their husbands' nerdy obsessions with wacky packs, 70s Topps cards, wrestling cards, and everything in between. With that being said, let's introduce today's special guest. Our first guest is the better half of our resident 70s unopened Jedi Master, Mike Cirincione. I'd like to welcome Pam Cirincione, to Hobby Talk. Thanks for joining us.
Hi. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. Our next guest not only has to deal with Daniel Simmons' hobby addictions ranging from baseball to wacky packages and Incredible Hulk cards, but she also has to deal with his daily photoshops and GIFs while they're working in the office. Welcome, Susan Friesen to Hobby Talk. How are you, Susan?
What work does Daniel do? I don't know. I think that's all he does all day long.
I can tell this is going to be great already. Our last guest not only has to deal with cow poop in Kirk Christensen's Iowa farm, but also has to deal with 1990 hoops poop in her living room and kitchen. Welcome, Erin Christensen to Hobby Talk. Hi, Erin.
Nice to join you guys tonight.
First off, thank you to all three of you for doing this. We like to joke. I'm sure you've seen some previous episodes, from the live ones to the pre-recorded ones. We're hobby nerds at heart. We like to talk about things. We make fun of ourselves just as much as anyone else. But I always wanted to kind of have perspective, right, of how you guys view us, and I think we have three very good and different perspectives of the hobby here. And so I have a couple of fun questions for you guys. And I'll start things off with you, Susan, if you don't mind. Sure. I wanted to ask you out of the gate, when did your husband first admit he was a hobby nerd? And, how did he tell you? And what was your first reaction to all of it?
I don't think he's admitted it yet. He's trying to keep it on the lowdown. He just snuck it in there. It was no big reveal. He just suddenly, I don't have a closet. Suddenly, all my Christmas decorations have landed in the garage. So hobby nerd, no, yeah, he hasn't admitted that
he's
yet.
Still in denial.
He's in denial. He thinks it's all pretty legit.
I think after this episode, we need to work on a 12-step program for all of us hobby nerds. What do you think?
I agree. Yeah, he needs help big time.
So how about you, Pam? I'll ask the same question to you. When did Mike first admit, he was a hobby nerd, and how did he tell you? What was your reaction to all of it?
He told me pretty early on in our relationship. So I knew very early, but at the time, now this is we're married 24 years, so we're together 27.
Okay.
At the time, the collection was very small. I don't know if you all remember, like an old rack system stereo, the racks that the components used to sit in.
Yeah.
What he had fit into one of those racks. So it was very small. It really blew up.
It crept up on you.
Like, it blew up in my face when he discovered eBay. And that was like, all of a sudden, big packs and empty wrappers and empty boxes. And
the boxes were just full.
Yeah, so I knew pretty early on, like, his wedding gift from me was 2 1970s unopened rack packs. So yeah, that was his wedding gift for me. So it's not like I didn't know. I didn't know what it would become.
Pam, I think what you thought was 2 70s wax packs per year would be like this nice, thoughtful gift. What you realized, it was like a 1-week fix, and he would have to get like one a week, right?
There used to be this shop near our house, and that's what he wanted for a wedding gift. I got a string of pearls, and he got 2 rock packs.
Let me guess. He sold it as an investment, right?
I don't remember, but at the time, it was probably something along those lines.
Oh my God. Oh, so how about you? How about you, Aaron? When did he first admit to you he was a hobby nerd?
I agree. Like, kind of creeped up on me, same as Pam. I mean, I knew right from the get that he collected. I mean, he used to sit on his iPad, this vintage iPad that can't even do an upload anymore or an update anymore. It's so old, but he can't get rid of it because it's the only thing that has his music on it. So he used to sit on that every morning before chores, and he would eBay he'd wake up early to do this, such a time frame to check eBay. And he didn't have a smartphone, so it was that, and it was done. I mean, it was the iPad in the morning, and then off he goes with his job, and now it just creeps with him all day, and it's like, oh my gosh, you can't buy stuff all day.
I see a pattern developing here.
Yes.
I kind of regret letting him get one, and I think he probably regrets letting me get one, but and then the job, I mean, it creeped into like, hey, Aaron, I'm gonna do this. What do you think? And he supports me in my things, so hey, I'm not gonna say no to something for him if that's what he's loving. So off he goes, starting this, Brandon's basement dungeon, open cards at night, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? I don't understand this. And now here we are years later, and I'm like, yes.
It's like the baseball card nerd equivalent of a poker night, where we just we watch each other open up cards and like, oh, we got the rookie, right?
Yeah.
That's
So I think Pam said it just kind of creeped in, and it's evolved into more than just what it was when we started, but we've evolved together, so I think we're okay.
I'll say this now and early on in the episode. I think I speak for every hobby nerd that's going to be watching this episode. That we're very appreciative of the tolerance and the support that we get from our better halves. With our little hobby, we have a real cool community, as you've probably seen in some of these episodes and on Facebook. And Aaron, I mean, you see it probably more than most, right? With the weekly rips. It's just a cool group of guys just having fun and amplified during the pandemic. I think it kind of like hit next level, as we were all kind of caged up for a few months or even a year at this point. So,
I would have to say too that like the community doesn't understand what this world is. Like when they say like, what is Kurt's hobbies? And I say, well, he sells baseball cards. They're like, what? That's still a thing? Like, yeah, it's still a thing.
But the thing is, Kurt took that old saying, people always tell you, find something you love to do with your life. Kurt did that.
Yeah.
He took something that he loved and made it a career. And more power to him for that. As long as it is supporting you and your family, I'm right there with him.
Yeah.
So are we. I mean,
No, that's awesome, guys. I think even for us on a much smaller level, like my wife sees those packages come in and sees me this and that. She's already like, hey, you're doing something you love, and I don't get it, right? Because like you were saying before, you reminded me of her reaction. She's like, I don't get it, but it looks like you're having fun, so go with it.
I see the boxes coming in, and I'm like, what'd you order now?
Yeah, so that's a perfect segue. I'm gonna lead to you on this one, Pam. I had a question for all three of you, of course, and it was, have you ever been disappointed, right, when FedEx, UPS, and the mailman arrives with a box only to find out it's not for you? And can you share a funny story or two with me, Pam?
This happened recently, and I was just telling him, and I can't remember. It must have been around Christmas. I was at work, I think, and I saw we got 3 different packages, and he's been working from home since the pandemic. So I texted him and I was like, oh, is that the box I was waiting for? And he's like, no. I'm like, 3 boxes came. Are you telling me now one of those is my box? 2 were for him. 1 was for my son, and mine didn't come for hours. I go, wait a minute, where's my stuff?
That disappointment.
It was recent, and I can't remember what it was that I was waiting for. But I was waiting for something, and it didn't come until much, much later in the day.
Damn, I think what you were waiting for was a 1975 Topps box.
That is definitely not what I was waiting for.
No. So how about you, Susan? I'll ask the same question to you.
Well, I don't even bother answering the door anymore. I mean, it's just pointless. Like, I'm not going to waste my energy to get up and open the door when I know it's only for him anyway. Like, on the rare occasion that I might get something, great, he hands it over to me.
That's like real, like door-to-door delivery. It's like he brings it right.
It's like, it's all yours, buddy. I'm not, like there's just no point.
12 boxes arrive, 11 are for him, one's for Susan.
If that. I mean,
and it's funny, we were talking a little offline about this, but Erin, as we're talking about our hobby examples, you have like a tractor trailer backing up into your front driveway. So I imagine your disappointment's a little bit on the higher side.
Yeah, there's times where a semi pulls in with some equipment or, boxes or the supplies for the business end, and it comes on pallets, and I can't get them off of the semi for them. So then it's, calling so-and-so, call my father-in-law, and it's a big ordeal, and I'm trying to work. Again, I'm working at home for COVID reasons also. So, I'm it's the, hey, hang on, semi driver, I'll get somebody for you. So I'm to the point now that I'm about ready to figure out how to hook the forks on to get it all off myself, because I just need to get it done and go back to work. So yeah.
I hope you've never like unearthed a pallet where you lift it up and find like the box that you ordered from Amazon, like crushed with all this baseball card stuff underneath it.
Yeah,
I can help you with that, Erin. I used to drive a forklift drive. Well, kind of a semi forklift driver years ago. I can help you with that.
There you go. A little hobby wife support here.
Loader. I just can't get the forks on yet. I'll figure it out, but
you'll get it. Yeah.
Yeah. When you want a job done, you start learning how to drive what you need to drive to get your jobs done. So
yeah, very, very true. Yeah, I mean, I'll share personally on my side. It's kind of funny at this point, similar to what Susan says. When the boxes arrive, I think my wife doesn't even, the doorbell rings. She's just like, I'm guessing that's for you. If something came in for me, just pass it over to me when you get a chance.
Yeah.
Oh, too funny, guys.
Yeah, I know my UPS driver's like life. I know where he lives, and he lost his dogs a couple weeks ago and had to go find. I mean, we're like friends.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like you got to the point where like, hey, what are you doing Friday? I'm having a barbecue. You guys want to bring the family over?
Yeah.
We haven't gotten to that point.
Oh, too funny, guys. So let me ask you, I'll start with you, Erin. What's the one room in your house, or if you even have a room left in your house, that you've completely lost to cards?
I think I'm kind of lucky on this end. So we have a big shop, not on our homestead farm, but like somewhere else, and it houses a majority of everything for us.
Oh,
so
that's good.
Upstairs is the stuff that's on the website, and it stays on a table, but I have lost my garage. My car fits in it. We used to have one loft, and my Christmas stuff would go up there. And he has now built on the left another loft, and on the right another loft, and some tables all the way around. So the garage is completely cards, and then maybe like a 16th of it is like hand-me-down clothes for my kids, and then the rest is all his. And then the empty boxes from all the wrapping and mail and everything ends up on the driver's side of my car. So I cuss him out every morning when I go to work, because it's like when I take the kids to school, it's like, God, I can't even get in my car.
Shoving the boxes or coming in through the passenger side of your door.
Yeah. So I've started backing his car out and shoving his boxes on his side of the garage, because it's not going on my side anymore.
What better way to make us learn than to just throw it on our side? Oh. You mentioned Erin Christmas decorations, and I've always found it funny that the first victim, if you will, of us finding space in our house is typically wherever you're storing your Christmas decorations. That usually finds a back door to our cards. So with Susan, I don't, if you want to share with us, what room or rooms have been hostile takeover to our cards.
Yes, definitely not just been one room. So yeah, first it was the spare room closet, then it was the closet or storage space underneath the stairs. Then it migrated into the storage room, of which, yeah, and I have a
We're like
lot of
hamsters, Susan.
I know. It just takes over the house. And I do have a lot of Christmas decorations. And Dan can attest to that. And they were all nicely packed and stored and organized in the storage room. And the next thing I know, they're all piled into the garage, stuffed on top of each other. I have victims of his new storage space every year of stuff getting broken. And I go into the storage room and I'm lucky if I can find my one piece of luggage now. Otherwise, the whole room has been taken over.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, but at least it's all hidden. Like if I go into his office, he has stuff on display, but it's not like what Aaron is describing, where it's just a big mess everywhere. Like he's pretty neat about what he does. So I'm not invaded with a constant reminder of this obsession.
Yeah, Pam, how about you?
In 2003, we did this major renovation to our house. And one of the things we did was we added a room over our garage, which is the length and width of our garage. It's heated, it's air conditioned. The purpose of that room was storage, holiday decorations, the luggage, the big box with my wedding gown. That was the purpose of that room.
Lo and behold.
That room. What did you say?
I said, and lo and behold.
And lo and behold, Mike one time came and said, I really need a bookcase to put some of these cards and stuff on. So we got one bookcase, a really nice bookcase, tall, wide. The next thing I know, the whole wall has like 4 of these bookcases. There's stuff on top of the bookcases. In that room is also like the baby dressers from when my kids were little. In the drawers of those are packs and boxes, and the dresser I had growing up as a child now has baseball cards. So that whole back room, which was supposed to be generally like a storage room, we now lovingly call the vault. Because that's where everything is. But he does keep it very neat. Actually, when COVID started and we were first home in quarantine and he started working from home, he was really energetic at the time. And he made this massive push to clean out and organize that room.
Yeah.
We threw a lot of stuff out and he was actually able to make it much neater. But I did not realize when we made the plans to put that room in the house, what that room would become.
I can say, Pam, I'm sorry. I was saying that I've seen it in many episodes where we've done interviews. He's used the vault as his background, and definitely Mike's very organized. He's shown some stuff, and it's very well kept. But I'm just laughing hysterically at how it started when you said it started with one bookcase, and I see in the interviews how it's just a whole back wall now. He definitely took over that room.
Yeah.
When I said to him, I go, well, when this came up, I said, well, where am I going to do this? He's like, well, you could do it in the back room. I'm like, no, I'm not sitting back there with all your things. No.
Oh my God, it's too funny. This is gonna help me a little bit, when my wife watches this episode and she realizes that, I'm not too different from everybody else.
He's not alone.
Exactly.
Like I've often joked, like, I need to write a book about this because there's so many women out there that's just not me. I'm not the only one living this life of like, oh my gosh, my husband, like.
Well, Aaron, consider this a formal invitation. If you've been on HobbyNetworkGroup.com, I have a blog, a whole blog section. I would love for any of you, if you wanted to put a blog entry in there about, so I mean, it's like free reign. You let me know. I'd be happy for you to share that there.
Oh, I might do that.
Yes, please do. That'd be great. Oh man. And I'm sure my wife probably hears this. She's gonna be like, oh, okay, I'll write some stories too about you. Oh man. So let me ask you this, and I'll start with you, Pam, on this one. What's the one thing that Mike collects that you find, just strange or funny? Like, is a certain part of the hobbies that he plays around with that you're like, wow, I really don't get that. Why are you collecting that?
Empty boxes.
I knew that was coming. I knew it.
Well, I was reading him this afternoon when I came home from work. I was telling him what the questions were. And I said to him, I go, I don't think anything you collect is weird. And then he goes, yes, you do, the boxes. And I said, oh, the empty boxes. I do not understand the obsession with the empty boxes.
It's one thing to have a box of cards, right, Pam?
I don't understand it. The empty boxes. And it's not even like he's got cards that he's going to put into. It's not even like some of these boxes he has cards he's going to put into them. They're just empty boxes. I don't get it.
It's so
I
true.
don't understand.
They're worth so much. It's ridiculous. Like an empty box is worth money. Like I would toss that long time ago. I would
Thank you.
Say that.
Thank you. It is not just me. The empty boxes. I do not understand the obsession with the empty boxes.
It's crazy what they go for too on eBay. You look at an empty 70s box and people are paying hundreds of dollars for the empty piece of cardboard.
I don't get it.
Oh my God, that is great. That's a great answer, Pam.
I have better things to spend my money on than an empty box.
Thank you. Like
I have a pet.
You're spending all that money and there's nothing even in the box. I don't understand.
Aaron, you're like, I have a pet rock I'll sell you.
I got a pile of poop outside I'll sell you.
I got a few things I can sell him.
Oh, so how about you, Aaron? What's your official answer? What's the one thing that Kurt, has, whether it's for his business or something that he collects? And it doesn't even have to be cards, by the way. It could be like toys or whatever, like something hobby related, let's call it, that he collects that you just find really strange or funny.
I don't know if I find it. I don't know. I think the one that just gets me that I just think is bizarre is like the non-sports cards. Like I never realized that those were even a thing. And then to see,
Susan's loaded to answer that.
I mean, today at lunch we were wrapping cards and wrapping boxes, and I was like, oh, gosh, this is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles box. Like, why am I wrapping this? And Kurt's like, dude, that's like the best box out of all of this. And that just blows my mind. So I'm gonna give that as my answer. Like,
yeah, that's a good one.
Non-sports stuff is just, it blows my mind how much people love it and how I didn't even know it was a thing. Like I knew sports cards was a thing, but that's a whole new world for me.
You know,
when
Aaron,
I started going with Mike to the Nationals, and I would see like Garbage Pail Kids and like all of those non-sports related cards, and I'm like, really? Yeah. That's like I had the same reaction. That's a thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was gonna say, like, there's some non-sports that I kind of got because there was a cult following. Like the first that comes to mind totally makes sense, like Star Wars. That's just as popular sports cards. So like whoever's into that, even wrestling, right? Because wrestling's like a big, like it just has a big fan base. Okay, it may not be my thing, but I get why people collect it. But then there's certain things, and it's through Kurt's, I've done a lot of interviews with Kurt, and the one that blew my mind, I'll never forget it, and I still joke with him offline, on our little PM messages to each other, are those porcelain cats, where he was at the Nationals selling boxes. Susan, I don't know if you've heard this one. And I don't know if Dan has a box of this, but
I hope not.
It's trading cards, okay? It's not the actual porcelain cats. That I understand. Some people collect that. It's trading cards of pictures of porcelain cats on the trading card.
And those are popular?
He says he sells.
My husband has them. Like,
not only does he have it,
I mean, as of like 5 hours ago, it's like, oh yeah, David's probably going to talk to you about these porcelain cats, and I'm like, what?
Not only does he look,
I've never seen those.
I've never seen him either. But here's the funny part, and I totally believe him on this. Multiple nationals that he's been in, not only did he have them on display, but he has sold out of porcelain cats at the national. So somebody's buying porcelain cat cards.
I don't know how much you should be confessing about that kind of stuff. It really kind of gives a clarity on the type of people who we're hanging out with here.
So, Susan, it's your turn. Let's hear your answer now.
Well, yeah, porcelain cats. I don't know.
Watch it be Dan that's buying all this stuff on Kurt's website.
Yeah, I should pay attention to that.
You should open those boxes that come to your door.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm heading with this, is that I have no idea what all he's got stashed in there. Like, I so lost interest, you know?
Well,
I'm a Canadian girl. I grew up with Bobby Orr, you know, hockey cards is where it's at, folks. Hockey.
yeah, sports,
And
right. So Alf is not your thing then.
Oh no. Yeah, no. Daniel has mentioned it a few times, and I same response as Aaron and Pam. Like, what? What? But you see, the thing about Dan is that he'll collect anything. It doesn't matter if it's a coaster with the Simpsons on it. He thinks that that's the next gold piece. You know, that's
he is a passionate collector. I do
very passionate. But you know, one thing about Dan is that, and this is why I really haven't paid close attention to what he does, is because I trust that what he does is he does it. He invests wisely. He's not frivolous about what he spends his money on.
Yeah, Dad's he has some fun stuff. He shared some of the stuff with me. I would call him one of my resident go-to. If I have a question about non-sports, I usually talk to him because he's very well versed on some of the stuff we just talked about. Now, I don't want to scare you, Susan.
Oh, I know. I'm well aware of what goes on in his brain.
But if I'm curious on hey, you know, a 1976 Charlie's Angels box because I have an interview, you know, I usually go to Dan and ask him a question about it.
And he will have all kinds of info for you too.
Absolutely.
I know.
I think there's one of those boxes in the shop. So
yep.
Pretty sure.
Oh, guys. So Pam, you know, before I ask I have one more question for you guys, but Pam, there's got to be a little bit of a sigh of relief right now hearing some of this non-sports stuff, because Mike is, as far as I know, 99% baseball. He's kind of like me. I'm not 90, but I would say I'm 90% baseball, you know, and Mike's definitely heavy baseball. So
Yes. Like Susan was saying, you know, if her husband thinks this is the next big thing, he'll buy it. Mike doesn't do that. We are strictly baseball.
70s baseball. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a little.
That's his love.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely mine too. You know, I got a dotted line here and there, especially after I started this channel. I'm not going to deny it. You might know this, Aaron, but it was funny. I did a wrestling card interview with Kurt. You know, I guess it's a couple of months now, and I never. I'm you know, I was a kid. I saw wrestling, but I haven't followed wrestling in ages. Somehow Kurt, you know, not only did the interview kind of spark some a wow factor. I didn't realize this was so popular. But about 3 days later, I'm PMing Kurt, hey, I think I'm going to take one of those boxes you were talking about in the episode. And sure enough, I bought my one and only box of wrestling cards 3 days after that episode. So I might have to reconsider what I'm doing here.
He's got that effect on people.
All of a sudden, we're talking about Hulk Hogan cards. Oh, too funny. All right, guys. So to wrap things up for this episode, I'll start with you, Susan. I want to ask you, do you share a hobby with Dan? And it doesn't have to be, you know, let's call it within the scope of this channel, right? It doesn't have to be cards or toys or coins or anything like that. But do you share a hobby? And if so, which one and why?
We work too much to have much of a hobby, although I know that Daniel hides in his office and plays a lot, but But one thing that that we have been doing actually, and is since Christmas time, we've been getting in the habit of playing a weekly Scrabble game.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I was on a winning streak. I won 3 games in a row. And so last weekend we had to have a rematch on Saturday instead of Sunday because Dan's ego was really hurting. And I let him win. Don't tell him that.
Should I edit that out of this?
No, it's okay. He knows I let him win.
He put some word there that had like 6 consonants, no vowels in it, and you were like, "Yeah, don't even look it up. I'll give you the point."
I trust you, dear. Go ahead.
It starts with a Z and ends with a Q.
Points. Yeah. But no, I should be kidding because he's gonna write a comment and say she didn't let me win. No, I'm too competitive to do that. But it was a close margin. He did win. And then, of course, I had to have a rematch on Sunday because I let him win on Saturday. So.
I love the rivalry there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You guys are about 6 months removed from like one's going to, Dan's going to sleep in the guest bedroom because it got so heated during the Scrabble battle.
Well, I accuse him of cheating all the time, but, he denies it, of course.
That's one of those like Scrabble dictionaries that you use.
I know for a fact that those Scrabble dictionaries were created by men who wanted to cheat and made up words so that they could use them when they're playing their game.
I cannot confirm nor deny the allegations. Oh, that's great. So I'll move over to the same question for you now, Pam. What hobby do you share with, do you share a hobby with Mike? And if so, which one and why?
I don't share any hobbies with Mike.
My hobby is you do your thing, I do mine.
I don't know if you can see behind me, but I do a lot of needlework. So this is what I do.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Love it.
This is what I do, and the cards are what he does. And I have to say, probably, like I was saying, his collecting has sort of grown as we were married. It wasn't that bad when we first started dating and whatnot. My passion for needlework has probably done the same thing. Like he would probably say the same thing about me.
Yeah. We're gonna have an episode. Married, we're gonna have a retaliation episode, guys.
Yeah, when we got married, I could fit all my needlework supplies in like one neat little bag. Now I've got a closet. There's projects in the trunk. There's projects in my work bag. There's projects upstairs. There's projects downstairs. So it's sort of we've both done the same thing. You're
reciprocating. You're like, you're gonna take over that wall. I'm taking over this wall.
Pretty much, yeah. Like I'm sitting in my dining room. This is where he works during the day. And he actually put a filter on so the people that he works with don't see that.
Oh, it's funny. So how about you, Erin? Do you share a hobby with Kurt? And if so, which one and why?
Yeah, we don't share hobbies either. I guess my hobbies are more like interior designing and that kind of things, keeping my, I always have a project going. I always have another idea of how to change something in our house or change landscaping or another thing. Then he wants nothing to do with my projects. And I just tolerate and help as much as I can for his cards. But no, we don't really share a lot of hobbies.
I would say
he supports my hobby and I support his hobby.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, actually, Erin. I think if it's kind of funny, like I think the answer is the hobby that you share is the respect for each other's hobby.
Yeah, it was my hobby. And I got a new kitchen remodel a couple years ago. He wouldn't have his wrapping station because he takes over my kitchen probably 2 hours, 3 hours a day, where he takes the end of the island. And now I'm like, I am so glad I put that ginormous island in my kitchen because it's his work center and we can still eat on the one side and he can still work on the other. But yeah, wrapping seriously happens in my kitchen.
When you put that island in, did you have any idea that that's what that was going to become? Or did it just sort of morph into that?
No, and you know what? He's so lucky because I put a plug-in right on the end that he uses, so he doesn't even have to like crawl under his cords or anything. There's I mean, I'm like, God, this was built for you. And we just said a couple days ago, like, where would you go if you didn't have this island? Like, if I would have remodeled the kitchen, where would you go? Your wrapping business would be like the garage on the floor. Like, I don't know.
You know,
where
Aaron, who would have thought that your big island for like doing like kids' night pizza stations and stuff like that or whatever, it would end up turning into an assembly line for wrapping 89 like Tops baseball.
Every day there's something that like, well, and I feel bad because I'm like, the wrapping stuff gets stored upstairs. So he's got to carry it all down and he's got to set it up. And then he has to carry it all back upstairs. That stuff's not sitting out all day. So it gets put away every day and it gets put back up every day. And then we'll get I'll be like heat gunning the box or whatever. And I'm like, oh man, Kurt, I ripped a hole in this one. He's like, and he has to run all the way back upstairs and it's just like, we really need a place because it's probably exhausting for him to go up and down to set it up every
Pam's
day.
Offering,
but we live in
Mike's vault.
Mike would not offer the vault.
No, that's
How
sacred
does Mike
space.
feel about offering the vault?
Yeah. If not, Susan was talking about clearing up the back of her desk behind her there, and she would offer some space as well.
No.
No, that's
That was a quick no.
Yeah.
Dan already tried to invade my space earlier today, and I booed him out of here as fast as possible.
Oh, you made me laugh with that one. Guys, with that being said, I gotta say this was everything I expected and more. I guess I just want to ask officially on the episode. I hope rather that you guys would be up for a future episode. This was great. And I would love to even, do a live episode with you guys at some point. I think that would be a ton of fun. So if you guys are up for it, the virtual door is always open.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anytime.
So thanks so much again. And and we'll be talking soon. This was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Bye, everybody.
All right. Take care, guys.
Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video. Please click on the like and subscribe button. Just a couple quick updates. We are officially live on iTunes, Google, as well as Spotify for our podcast. Go to HobbyNetworkGroup.com for more details and links. Thanks for watching today's video and have a great day. Bye.